Okay, so to make the front of page 1, let me tell you, some of these look more complicated than they are. So first of all, I do have my pages that will fit onto my hinges already. I have them labeled front of page 1 is 1F, etc. So let's go ahead and do 1F. So the first thing I mean, I'll read off the measurements. Um, a piece that's 6 7/8 by 5 3/16. A piece that's 6 7/8 by 8. A piece that is, let's start with this, 8.5 by 4 7/8. Oh, I guess I should measure this. I know it's 4 7/8 by 6 3/8 and 5 7/8 by 5. We'll start with the 6 7/8 by 8. We will put the 6 7/8 side at the top and score at 1/2 inch. I'm going to put that aside. The 6 7/8 by 5 3/16. We're going to put the 6 7/8 at the top and score at 1/2 inch. I may end up cutting it down just a little bit. 8.5 by 4 7/8 with the 8.5 side at the top. We're going to score at 1/2 inch. The 4 7/8 by 6 3/8 with the 6 3/8 side at the top, score at 1/2 inch. And the 5 7/8 by 5 with the 5 7/8 side at the top, we'll score at 1/2 inch, rotate once, score at 1/2 inch, rotate again, and score at 1/2 inch. This is going to make a pocket. I have some mitering to do, especially for this pocket. So to miter, I'm going to just start at that score line and just cut down at an angle. This one I'm going to cut across the 2 score lines that make an X, just cut right across the center of those. That's going to make it easier to fold because this is a pocket. So I'll go ahead and fold and burnish on those score lines. I'll put that aside. Or flap, we'll just score there, or burnish. Burnish there. Burnish there. And there we go. So we'll start with the larger piece, the 6 7/8 by 8. I'm going to add glue to the tab. And this is going to go on the right-hand side of the page. And incidentally, this is a 110-pound cardstock. It all could be a 110-pound cardstock except for that pocket piece. It's probably best if you just made that pocket piece in the later cardstock. Or if you're using 87-pound, you can use it all 87-pound. Okay, so that's done. Now we're going to take the 6 7/8 by 5 3/16 and put that over onto the left side. I didn't miter any of these corners. To me, it's not necessary. Whoops, wait, no. No, we're not going to do that. Hang on. No harm, no foul. I'm not going to put this one on yet. So I'm going to wipe off the glue. I have to put another decorative paper on here first before I do that. Okay, never mind. Open this up. No, it doesn't need to be. So here, this flap that's 8.5 by 4 7/8, just to make sure there's a nice straight, uh, just that it's nice and straight, I'm going to take the tab, put it underneath this flap, move it over to the right. I'll open this up. And I'm going to glue it down here on the underside. Now you could put it on the top. The thing is, I find that if you do it this way sometimes, you know it's going to be straight, as long as you have gone all the way to the top and put it down. So I'm going to do that. Now this one, I'm not going to put this one down yet. Oops. But I will put this pocket down. And the fun thing about this is you can put the flaps on the back side of here, and that way if things go into the pocket, it's easier to put them in, and we'll be covering this back piece so you won't see it. Now you could put it on the front if you want, whichever way you want to do it. Okay, so we've got that. Now we're going to decorate a little bit and then we'll add the other pieces. All right, we're going to decorate a little bit and then put on some magnets. First thing is I have cut off of this paper, I've cut a 1-inch strip, and then I cut that down to 4 3/4. I'm going to put that at the top here, allowing a 1/16 of an inch border from the top. I'm going to turn this over just so I can see it a little better. Okay, so we've got that down like that. Okay, now we're going to take this flap with a pocket, and we're going to take this piece, and I've cut this little strip to 4 3/4 as well. So just going to add this onto that flap. Now it's not going to be perfect. Well, it's okay. Oops, I went too close to the edge. It needs to be a 1/16 of an inch away from the edge. All right, now I'm going to add glue on the underside of the flap. And I'm going to put this whole flap a 1/16 of an inch away from this red piece. And make sure it's straight there. Okay. Now, you could put a large piece in there, but I'm just going to take one of these inch pieces that are left over and add it on the top there. You won't be able to see that there's nothing in the rest of the pocket. If you want, you can wait till you're done decorating and just take a scrap paper or, whatever you have left and add it to inside the pocket. Okay, so we've got that there. Okay, now I've gone and taken different paper. I know I said I like to keep, I don't want to add too many different patterns, but this is sort of a subtle looking pattern, and I did ink around the edges with black soot. I usually won't. And the interesting thing is I cut it at 4 3/4 by 4 3/4. It might be a little bit small. I mean, it works, but double check your measurement on that. I think when I put the pocket on, it seemed to spread a little. So anyhow, I will add that onto here and just center it on there. And then that gives me room to put on, not gives me room, gives me a good background to put on this cut apart. Oh, there we go. Yeah, there we go. So we'll put that on that pocket and center it real well. If you wanted to, you could make this a little pocket, but I'm not going to. But you could, just by adding glue to 3 sides. So we'll just center that on there. I made this pocket a little deeper than I had done on the well-groomed one because I wanted to put a 6 1/4 by 6 1/4 photo mat, or actually it'll be a folder so you can put a couple of photos in there. Okay, so then this will open like that. Now it's time to add a couple of magnets. So we're going to put a magnet here, so that'll correspond with there. And then a magnet here, so that'll correspond with there. And then a magnet on the bottom corner here that'll correspond with it. You know what, actually, before we do that, let's go ahead and do this piece. So this is going to go with this flap. I guess I could do it this way, but it doesn't really matter. To the side, and we are going to use, I cut this piece 1/2 inch, and this is going to go over to the side. Now the only thing is, if you put this down, you want to make sure that this will still open, and then this will open without this piece getting caught up in it. So that's why I said we might need to trim this down. And I think I will. I think I'll take just about 1/8 of an inch off of here. And then I'll go ahead and adhere this right here on the edge. I guess I'll center it. And then I'll take this piece, and it's cut 7 7/8, and that will go right here on the edge. All right, and then I'm going to go ahead and add magnets. All right, I've got everything else cut, and I'll give you the measurements. So the back of the flap that has the pocket on it will cut a piece, and I used this heart paper from the Patterns and Solids, and I cut it to 5 7/8 by 4 3/4. So I used one full sheet or one full piece. I didn't paper piece this area together just because it still allows you to put a photo here, but it's just not fiddly. Fiddly, that's my word. So that goes there, and plus it introduces that pattern again. All right, so this, I did cut down one of our photo mats, and the simple reason is because I've got a magnet here, and if I had kept a 4 1/4 by 6 1/4 photo mat, probably shouldn't have started with this one, probably should have started with one on the side. It would not cover the magnet all the way. So that is what I did. I did glue those down. So this is about a quarter of an inch. It's a quarter of an inch by 6 1/4. This is an eighth of an inch by 6 1/4, and this is a little bit smaller than an eighth of an inch, just because of where the flap is. I needed some extra room. So again, this is 4 3/4. I started gluing it down and then changed my mind. 4 3/4 by 4 1/4. So if you have a smaller than normal photo, like if you have extra sky in your photo or wall space or, you know, whatever, then you can put a smaller photo there. So there's that. And then I continued with the magnets. Actually, I did not even put a magnet over here. That's just tape. I was going to, but I'm using this full piece, and this measures, yeah, I didn't write it down, a 4 3/4 by 7 7/8. Now you could again put a photo mat or a photo right on top here. You could put a photo mat here if you wanted to. Move this over. But that goes right there. Now the reason I didn't put a magnet on the back of here is because I put one here. I put a larger one here, a 3/8 of an inch. So that will stay even once I put the paper on. So this one is cut 1 1/2 by 7 7/8. I also will let you know I did ink a little bit with some antique linen because it was so much whiter compared to the other beiges on this paper. Like this one had more beige. So just because I wanted it to blend in a little more, I used some antique linen. You don't have to. Okay, so at the top, we'll go this piece. This is 1 inch by, and then I cut this 1 inch by 4 3/4. These three pieces are all 4 3/4. So I'll match it up with the top of this. So there might be a larger gap here. Sometimes where the folds are, I seem to allow a larger gap. I just feel like it needs the movement. If you want, you can ink this. I didn't see the need, but you can. So this could be a good spot for journaling, or again, room to put a smaller photo. Trying to have it that 1/16 of an inch gap. And then here I used a piece of the 8 by 8. I'll tell you the name of it in a second. That is called Curiouser and Curiouser. So there is that. And of course that has the magnet underneath it. So far, so good. The reason also, not just the magnet, but I didn't want a full 6 1/4 by 4 1/4 piece. If I had that, which is what I originally was going to do, then that would show and the photo would show. It's not the worst thing in the world, but I didn't like it. So I feel like that looks better. And it depends on what photo you put there. All right, so we've got that, and then we'll open it to here. All righty, we have this piece that will go over there, and this piece that will go there. Okay, so this is, again, 7 7/8 by 2. You could, of course, use this side if you wanted to. This is of course, it's going to align with that, so it'll be 4 1/4 by 1 1/4. I think I was going to make it 1 5/16. But, so this is from the sticker sheet. It's that small heart paper from the sticker sheet. If you don't have the sticker sheet, you could just use a small piece of red. But I'm trying to keep that pattern here on this page because we've already used it before and I'm not going to use it anywhere else in the book. All right, now that I put that down, I've got a wider border here than I want, but I'm going to leave it. If I put an element here, you won't notice it. So sometimes when you have a flap that you put on a page, if you don't put the flap on straight, which I guess I didn't, sometimes that's where that will come from. But that's okay. It's not the worst thing in the world. All right, we'll start with this. So this will go over where I put the flap down, apparently crooked. But that will go right there. Oh, I guess I should have told you the measurement. We know it's 7 7/8. It's 3/8. And then I've got another sticker here. So I guess I can butt this right up to where the flap is. I sort of hesitate doing that because it might be on crooked. And then that means I can move this sticker. So with the stickers, even though they've got adhesive, I'm still going to add glue. Okay, and then we've got this. Just about going to cover the magnet. This measures 1 5/16 by 4 1/4. Double check your measurement and see how much room you have left. Okay, and this is, I always measure with the wrong side. One's got 16ths, one has 8. This is 1 9/16 by 7 7/8. Now I don't have a magnet holding this flap. You don't really need it. It'll stay closed. Now remember, we cut this down a little. Okay, this is one of these pieces. I'm going to have the hearts go up because they're brighter. So the hearts will be right side up. The white hearts will be right side up. The red hearts will be upside down. This goes on the top of this piece. And then our photo mat. And then a piece that is 5/16 by 6 1/4. I'm liking it. What about you? All right, and then all we have left to do is this. And with that, I am putting the photo mat to the top of the page and the hearts to the bottom. And there we go. So there's that, there's that, there's that. Let's make a little folder to put in there. Okay, so I have cut a piece of paper 4¼ by 6¼ This is going to make the folder to go in the pocket. I'm going to score it. I'm sorry, it's 8½ by 4¼ What am I thinking? Going to make a folder that's 4¼ by 6¼ And because it is 4¼ I had to cut photo mats 6⅛ by 4⅛. So I'm going to place 2 inside. I'm just going to glue it real quick. But this is a way of getting some extra photos. And of course, you don't need the white photo mats if you don't want. I just sort of use it as a placeholder, although it does make your book that much bulkier. And then I'm going to put one on the back side. And then on the front, I cut this piece 4⅛ by 6⅛. So you could put a 4x6 photo on it, or you could cut down your photo. Or you don't have to put a photo on it if you don't want. Great room for journaling or putting your thoughts. So there is that. So now I was toying with the idea of putting this here. Oops. Because that'll go like that. And to be honest, I should have cut this so the full hearts show, but I was thinking I was going to do something like this, something with some verbiage to put there. I don't want to dream it. I guess that's all I got for right now. I don't know. I want something written up here, but I don't know what. I'm just going to leave this here and I'll think about it. But I will show you, I did add, oh, this has to come out, so this will open. I did add this little frame. It was in the ephemera. I glued it onto just a snippet of the back of this. I left it open at the top, so you still could add a photo in there if you wanted to, but I also glued one of the hearts that came with the collection in the ephemera. Should put another heart here. Oops. Well, I don't know. I'm trying to make things fit that don't really fit. So I know there's a heart here somewhere. Let's just do that one. On the sticker sheet. Couple of hearts here. I know I probably should do something besides hearts. And then this will open up and some more. But if I don't use them here, where am I going to use them? So again, that'll go in there. And there we go with the finished page 1 front.